Are we? There we go.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And this is our third episode with Marguerite Sacco, our expert, my mentor in transactional analysis. And actually, we had two very entertaining discussions the last 2 weeks. And actually, the last week we were talking about I'm okay, you're okay. And actually, we had this discussion and it was really amazing, Marguerite, how I reflected on it personally, and actually I wanted to see also with our audience how they feel about it. And
Mm,
actually on the
mm,
other side, we wanted actually to see how this reflects on diversity and inclusion as part of
mm,
how people actually work with each other, how people really
mm,
connect with each other, and how it creates some sort of maybe discrimination better than things that actually may hinder the inclusion or the inclusive communities. And I want to
mm.
actually, before going into the subject, I want to really welcome warmly you and thank you for
Thank you.
all the time and expertise you're sharing with us and with the audience that we're having on our page. And welcome.
Thank you, Sharaf. Thanks so much. It's great to be back.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
where do you like to start today, Marguerite? Yeah.
Well, you've mentioned that you've since we spoke about the I'm okay or okay model, you've been thinking about it in the week, and I thought perhaps we could start with. I'd love to hear some more of your thoughts on that, and then, as we said, we didn't quite make it to talking that much about the diversity and inclusion aspect. So then we can get into that. But can we start with just what came to you in the week, or yeah.
Yeah, actually, yani, in the week, actually, when I was reflecting on that, I found that always I'm having this kind of guilt feeling that starts from I'm not okay
Mm.
unless somebody approves me. So it's something like,
Yes, yeah,
I'm giving justification for my existence, my approval.
yeah,
And this
yeah.
happens subconsciously in some patterns that I'm having with even sometimes my kids.
Mm.
I'm not okay as a dad, and I need to
I'm
prove
not
myself
okay.
to be
Mm.
worthy, and
Mm.
I'm doing a good job,
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
with my employees, actually, sometimes I try to
Mm.
push forward some justifications to feel
Mm.
okay about myself in this relationship.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if this actually comes in nicely as an act of kindness. However, when I look down deep in myself, I feel that it comes from a place that I didn't approve myself before doing this action.
Mm. Okay, so you're able to identify that it was coming from a not okay position as
Yes.
opposed to an I'm okay and I want to do this.
Exactly, and this in a way mixes, my rank and position when with those who are I'm working with. So
Mm.
it is seen, and sometimes there are some boundaries that are surpassed because of this.
Explain some more about the boundaries. What happens there?
In a place where I'm a dad, where a place I'm a manager, in a way there should be some kind of privilege or rank
Okay,
that's used to actually get things
right,
done. Or
right, right.
so
Okay.
this is
Yes,
something that I
yes.
lose on my end.
Mm,
It's not
mm,
something
mm,
that I'm
mm,
I'm using effectively in the relationship.
mm. So, Sharaf, are you describing that in order to appear and do be a good father and a good manager, it's almost an overcompensating, trying your best to please everyone so that you feel that you're okay?
Exactly.
Is that the, yeah? It's so interesting for me how what you're doing is linking the I'm okay, you're okay to that other piece that we talked really briefly about last week, which is the drivers. And
Yeah.
as you were describing how you were raised in this expectation that you are supposed to always be proving that you're acceptable and you have done the right things. And in that, I said to you, the drivers that I was hearing was drivers like, be perfect and try hard. And I have to always show that I'm trying hard all the time, all the time, all the time, and that I'm being perfect. There's another driver, and it's called the please people or please others.
Mhm.
And so what you've described now speaks to that piece of TA around, I'm so busy trying to be okay within my own self and to show others that I'm okay, that I have to please everyone all of the time. And
Exactly.
then, as you say, the boundaries of that can become very blurred. Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. I wonder if we should, I could describe a little bit more about the drivers since we keep touching on them.
Mhm.
Um,
So, mhm.
or yeah, there's so many choices. But there's this as well, which perhaps we should finish this, the I'm okay, you're okay, instead of going on to something else. Okay, let's do that. I think that would be better. Um, yeah, I made the slide when we were chatting last week, and I thought let's have a look at this kind of thinking in the I'm okay, you're okay model, because if we carry this belief in TA that I am okay, I'm worthy of dignity and respect, and I have self-esteem, and I believe you too are worthy of dignity and respect and esteem, then it means that we have to really check ourselves in relation to others. So, what I thought in order to do that was to put on the slide, you are okay, even if you, and then on the other side it says, I'm okay, even if I. So let's have a look. This I'm okay, you're okay means that I believe that you're okay, even if you have a different belief system to me. And I'm okay, even if I have a different belief system to you. So even just beginning with that piece, that's for me very significant that I may have learnt that my belief system is unacceptable to the people around me. So when I'm with them, I might want to hide what I believe. I might want to pretend that I don't believe certain things. And so I cannot be authentic and true to myself and speak my truth because I do not believe that I'm okay. My difference in belief system is not acceptable. Um, so that is quite an interesting one to look at. And then the you're okay, even if you have a different belief system to me, obviously that talks a lot to so much of the turmoil that is experienced in the world, and
Yeah.
where wars are fought over the belief that you are not okay because you believe something that is different to me. And so I must get rid of you. And that would be the I'm okay, you're not okay position.
And
Um,
can I
yeah.
elaborate something here, Marguerite, before
Mm,
moving forward
mm,
from that? Yeah, I believe that even here in the Middle East, we actually not only look at the belief system that you have, it's even the lifestyle that you are expressing this belief
mm-hmm,
system, you know.
mm. Yes.
So
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
actually try to pick up on some, some teachers to box you in some place that you are not okay because you're not like me.
You're not like me. So you
Yeah,
don't dress like I dress. When you talk lifestyle, you perhaps don't have the branded clothing that I wear. Um, you don't you have a different dialect perhaps to my
ex-
dialect, and that then in my mind I have a framework. I have a way in which I see the world, and as soon as I hear your dialect, I put you into that frame of, oh, you're one of those,
exactly.
and all the assumptions that come with that start to fill our minds. For me, it's so interesting as to how it just brought to mind when I go hiking on the weekends. I hike with quite a large group of people, and we talk about just general things. We don't talk much about work or what we do unless people specifically ask. So I don't know what their background is, what their work is, what their education is. I know nothing about them. All I know is that we all love the outdoors, we love the flowers, and we stop and go, oh, look at this beautiful flower and whatever. Um, and sometimes I'll be kind of surprised when I discover, my word, that person has a PhD in something amazing, you know? And I realize that how I might have been different towards that person if I'd known that. So we have these frameworks in which we categorize and place people. And then we decide, if you've got the PhD and I don't, then I'm not okay. She's okay. She's so fabulous. She's got a PhD. Oh my, wow. I've also noticed how people don't like to mention it. It's almost as if they want to just be equal for a while and not be treated differently because of their position academically or success in the working world in particular.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll deliberately play it down. So you'll go, "What do you do?" And they go, "Oh, um, I'm in this type of work," but they don't tell you that they have a PhD in that type of work. You know,
Wow.
which also intrigues me because that says, what do they? Why do they not put that out there? Have they learned that it's not okay to tell people that they've achieved something? Or are they just wanting to be equal and have people treat them, you know, normally? Then there's one who's a doctor. She may be not wanting to tell people she's a doctor because they'll start telling her all about their ailments and want to be to be given some medical advice along the way. Maybe. But it's just quite interesting how different I find, and I recognize it in myself. If I had known that she did this or he did that, then my framework and the way I saw them would have been different. It's quite intriguing.
Yes, it is. And actually, here I would like actually to address the fact that it's not really comfortable um living in many organizations that really gauges you. If you are already wearing the dress code, I
Mm,
believe it's and if it's already fulfilling the requirements that are put to get the dress code, it's
mm,
not okay, for instance, to judge you by what kind of brand you are wearing and what kind of branded watch you're
mm,
wearing,
mm,
so that
mm.
it enables for you something like an open door for getting up in the ladder or not, or even the branded car that the
Yeah,
brand of the car or
yeah,
the make or the model that you like to actually enjoy
absolutely.
riding, or even
Mm,
if you like to like
mm,
a scooter or something,
mm,
so
mm.
so in a way I believe that in some cultures it forces you to be somebody that that you don't want to be, because you are not okay unless you fulfill this
Unless,
kind of.
exactly. Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's something quite exhausting about that. I think that
Mm.
to constantly having to keep up with what's going on around you and who is and isn't okay around here,
Yeah.
and am I accepted and acceptable or not? And yeah, if you talk about that in organizations, that can be, you're just there to be and to work and do the best that you can in your job. But now you also have to look out for, how am I dressed? How do I speak? Am I accepted? Am I acceptable enough? Are they acceptable enough? And so on and so on. We sort of add so much pressure, social pressure, to our lives. Um, yeah, sometimes when I do organizational work, what I ask the group, just put out the question, who's okay around here and who's not? And they laugh, and you can just see in their minds that they know exactly who the in people are and who the out people are in the organization,
Yeah.
and that us and them that it creates. There's also another piece of that in organizational work. We talk about silo mentality. And I'm fascinated by that because as soon as we're put into a team, a group, a department, we assume that this department is the best one because I'm in it, and the other departments, are just not quite as good. And when I have different groups, I'll have one. I will be running a workshop with the one group, say, for instance, in the sales division. And they're absolutely perfect in every way in the organization and worthy of dignity and respect. And the blame is laid at the door of every other department in the organization. And then the week later, I might have manufacturing or finance, and they will believe themselves to be the perfect ones, and the blame is laid on the sales people. And it just is another really interesting piece around this I'm okay and you're okay too, and the how silo mentality we create that framework, put people into their positions within their box, within the framework, and go, oh, you're from that department, so you are this way inclined. And you just are seen as not okay. It's very disempowering.
That's
And
very
I've,
true.
mm,
Mm. And actually, I may add to this in some parts of organizations. Actually, the social structures itself inside
mm-hmm.
organizations, there are
Yes,
social
yeah,
networks that are unofficial, informal, that are
yeah,
created based on lifestyle, based on beliefs, systems,
yeah,
based
yeah.
on actually smoking or not smoking. There this smoking
Of
corner
course,
that
yes,
everybody is
yes,
socializing in it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and there is the
yeah,
meditation room or the prayer room it's here
yes,
in the Middle East. It's a very common in the
mm,
workplaces to have some
mm,
place to pray. Those who go on
mm.
time and those who don't go on time and pray, pray on their
Oh,
own.
wow,
Yeah,
yes,
actually you can find,
wow,
yeah, and those who enjoy a special kind of coffee at a certain time. This, it's normal to
mm,
connect and enjoy things together, but it's not normal
yeah,
to start judging each other. And when somebody from
mm,
who doesn't usually enjoy this with you, and when he comes in,
mm,
you just feel something that is uncomfortable inside the network itself.
yes,
When they're those
yeah,
people who are used to maybe for smoking or something, and somebody who's not a smoker, but he likes to connect with them socially, and he wants to just stay with them and be a negative smoker at this or a passive smoker at
mm,
this
mm,
time, and
mm.
enjoy a talk with them. I actually feel a discomfort from everybody that, hey, you are not a smoker, you shouldn't be here. So something,
Yes,
this kind
what are
of.
you doing here? Why are you standing with us? And that would be such an interesting experiment to do. Just non-smokers, just go and stand with the smokers and look at them, and the odd
Connect with them.
feeling that they would create would be what you're not supposed to be in this group. Yeah, yeah.
So.
Um,
Mm,
you made me think of a quite a funny little story when my daughter was in high school.
mm,
Um, she had her best friend Gemma, and they went onto the playground during their break time, and my daughter noticed that what would happen was so all of the black girls, it was an all girls school, all the black girls would go and sit together, and the white girls would all go and sit together. And there was just this way of segregating themselves naturally. Um, and on one occasion, Gemma noticed there was a circle of girls, all black girls, and she ran, and she's a white kid, jumped in the middle, sat down, and said, "Oh, look, I'm an Oreo." So she created, yeah, with this white filling, she put herself
yeah.
in the middle. Look, I've made an Oreo, and that was the moment in which the kids went, "Oh, look at us! We do this. We sort of go towards, and it is again natural to gravitate towards people who you feel most comfortable with, who share your culture, and that kind of thing. But it's also something to perhaps be aware of, as she was when she saw it in that way and made everybody look at themselves and go, "Wow, it would be so much more interesting to invite difference in, as
Yeah,
opposed to push differences out." And
I
we do
like
talk
this in
about
and
that
out.
in organizations. Yeah, we in organizationals we all the time. What is diversity about? It's about bringing new ways of thinking into the organization or into the group, and that it's only through thinking in new ways, with new eyes or with a different set of eyes, that we can innovate. And if we all think the same all of the time, we're going to just keep on producing the same results. So, there's a big orientation towards using diversity in organizations for the diverse innovation that can come about when people see a thing completely differently. Yeah.
So, can you elaborate more about this? How can innovate these innovative techniques be applied? Actually, I see lots of executives when they come into the board, they get their
Mm,
social network around them, and actually, they push
mm,
other people around out. Yani, it was really
mm,
really strange.
yeah.
Whenever there is a new CEO, there is always a new team that's almost his, his in people before starting this position, because he trusts
Mm,
them, so he puts them in
of
critical positions to
course.
create the
Yeah.
transformation he's using. And
Mm,
sometimes you find it very personal, like the friends of
mm,
his wife, for instance, or maybe the
sure.
the, the people that they go together to, for instance, the summer vacations in the same coasts, and they enjoy the same
Yeah.
vacations. Or maybe the same families, when you see at some, it's not a family business, however it's an organization, however they have some sort of connection, like a bond, like
Mm,
their in-laws or something like this,
yeah. Yeah.
so in a way,
Yeah.
there is, or maybe they belong to the same, maybe their fathers, for instance, were friends in the past, and they were actually in a way part of a group, a social group that's
Mm,
maybe
mm,
positioned somehow
yeah.
in the country. So in a way, you don't understand what is happening here, and how to make the leaders aware of how people actually perceive this, because it shows
Mm,
as an establishment, I guess.
mm, yeah. 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 That's also very interesting that we do tend to gather people towards us who we feel safe with, but we make enormous assumptions about who we feel safe with. So we might be asked to take somebody on in a senior position if I'm the CEO, because it's a cousin of mine, or it's my cousin's child, or something like that, and I just assume that that's enough to, okay, you're safe. I'll take you in, and I'll keep you close. And people we just don't know, we push outwardly. You're making me think of something called appreciative inquiry. Have you ever come across appreciative inquiry before, Sharaf?
I've heard about it many times, but I didn't study it.
Yeah,
So I,
yeah,
I would love to
yeah.
hear from you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely beautiful process. I must say, I love running those. They're amazing, and there's a whole theory on appreciative inquiry that we can go into, but we don't have time. But in that process, the work that is done is the first part of the process is getting people in the organization to meet with and talk to people that they normally don't speak to at work. So and to take a cross section of the organization. So from the cleaner to the CEO, you bring people together in a room, and then you pair them up. So you might choose the cleaner to meet with the CEO, sit together and interview each other in an appreciative way. So it's a way in which they both appreciate something positive about the organization. And they are asked to share stories about something positive that has happened to them in the organization. So what do they have in common? The organization. That's all. But when they start telling the stories about the beautiful thing that perhaps they've experienced while working here, all of those blinkers or those frameworks start to fall away when me as a senior manager, I start to talk to somebody who's so junior to me that I never even noticed them in the business. And I hear that, oh my goodness, you also enjoy that. Or that meant so much to you. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. And they learn to know each other beyond all of the boundaries that we put in the way, usually. Just to drop those for a while and really come to know each other at a much more intimate level without the boundaries around what you're wearing, what you look like, what work you're doing. It's the most beautiful process, and you feel in the room this change as people become cohesive and pull together, and there's absolutely no boundaries left anymore. And I must say that from this point of view, I would so strongly encourage organizations that whenever when you're working as a team, make a point of getting teams to come together and share their experiences, that your team meetings should not be only your team. Think about who you impact upon and who impacts upon you in the organization, and get them to join you in your meetings so that they can hear your frustrations firsthand and you can hear theirs, so that
Wow.
we see each other as okay and all part of a whole and not separate, you know. Yeah, I really appreciative inquiry brings the joy out in people as you've never seen before. It's really beautiful, and it really is about breaking the silos and finding the true okayness in each other, the
Yeah, that's
dignity and respect for human beings just because they're human beings.
yeah, that's really.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this, and I'm thinking about it. It may be in the period that we had this, Arab Spring in our countries here, maybe in
Yes.
2011 till 2000. Yeah,
Mm,
this
mm,
actually we were. I was working in a group that was actually in the place of connecting different the diversity, and it was about diversity and inclusion and bringing people to work together despite their
of
political
course.
differences and their
Oh,
social
okay.
direction. To actually,
Mm,
the main purpose is the society. It was about the
mm,
community work and the community service and this stuff. So actually, yeah, I didn't know that this way was named in appreciative inquiry, but this is
mm,
exactly what we've been doing.
mm.
We called ourselves at this time عيش وملح, or it means it's in Arabic, it means bread and salt, which are the basic elements that people enjoy together. When we
Yeah.
connect on bread and salt,
Oh,
it's something like a
that's
proverb here.
fantastic.
That's we
Yeah.
already are we had bread and salt, so it means that
Love
we
that.
have a tie together, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's something
That
common
is
we
so
enjoyed, we
beautiful.
shared. And this was the name of our initiative at this stage.
Wow.
And yeah, and we brought people to discuss together, to create community service activities together. And it was coming out of breaking the silos, that because actually people were not serving the community unless
Mm,
they're from the same political influence,
mm,
or from the same lifestyle, or
mm,
from the same religious group, or from so it was
mm,
really very hectic that you find this in the same neighborhood, a school, a physics teacher who was working for a church, for instance, and another physics teacher who was working for the community in the mosque, and both of them in front of each other, for instance. This is something that was really happening.
mm, mm.
It's a very sad story, and
Amazing.
maybe, yeah.
Beautiful.
And two
Wonderful
private
work. Yeah.
clinic two community clinics in the same neighborhood,
Mm,
one of them
mm,
in the church and the other in the mosque. And
mm,
you are serving the community, shouldn't be serving, actually shouldn't be using your religious, so in a
mm,
way we tried to create common bonds between them, and these were
mm,
the projects. And this was actually, I didn't know that the name of this thing is called
mm,
appreciative inquiry, because this is where we
mm.
started.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you for bringing this
Lovely. Yeah.
into my awareness. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
amazing. So I believe time is always flying, like
Always.
this.
I know. Unbelievable.
So and I'm really excited that in 8 days, not 8 days from now, 2 weeks from
No,
now,
two
you will be
weeks. Yeah.
starting, yeah, the transactional analysis 101 program. And
Mm,
I'm joining this program, and actually I wanted
mm.
you actually to, because actually it's it's the final call, ding 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 ding.
Yes. Two
Ship is
weeks to
sailing, ship
go.
ahoy, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
what do you like to say
it's
about it?
thanks. Thanks, Sharaf. It's not this Tuesday. What is it? The Tuesday after next, so 7th of September. We will
Yeah,
start. It's in the morning from 8:30 till 10 a.m. South African time, which is the same for you, Sharaf. So that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And we will cover the entire TA program, all of the TA models, and they're quite a lot. We do this for 12 weeks, 2 hours a week, every Tuesday morning, and dig deeply into each of the concepts of TA, and then link them all and have the most beautiful conversations and apply them in our lives, from the home to the workplace, politically, and everything else in between as well. So yeah.
So That's amazing, Marguerite. I really, yani I'm looking forward because actually it will be the first official, kind of studying for me, a linear studying for me for transactional analysis. I've been hearing about some concepts of it, maybe read the book,
Yeah.
saw some, but I didn't take it from a teacher like you. And I believe that I'm really looking forward for these classes. And I look, it's really very important for any person who wants to be a better leader, a better father, a
Mm.
better even colleague to his to his or a better neighborhood guy,
Yeah.
better neighbor.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's something that
Yeah.
I believe everybody needs. You can be for same for better mother or whatever. It's something that
Mm.
I believe it
Yeah.
it will bring into awareness lots of things. That's
Mm.
actually,
It
and
definitely
through these
does.
three interviews, I believe I learned a lot. And we have this next interview on the same time
Yeah.
at 8 a.m., 9
Mm.
a.m. on Monday morning.
Right.
Yes, that will be our next
Yeah.
interview.
That
So
will be
what
our
do you like
next
to,
one.
yeah. So what do you like to maybe do a closure for this, for today? What will be the summary,
Mm.
or about I'm okay or okay and the appreciative
Yeah.
inquiry, discussing
Yes.
this
Yeah.
diversity and
Yeah.
inclusion? Yeah. What would be your,
Yeah, yeah. I think today's discussion, in summary, was really about taking "I'm okay, you're okay" into the workplace context, and to recognize that we do tend to create silos where we're okay and they're not okay. And if we can recognize that and bring diversity in to our groups, into our spaces, that helps to break the silos and to give us the opportunity to hear about people's different ways of thinking. And when we hear that, we can be more creative, come up with more innovative ideas in the organization. So we should be inviting difference, not pushing it away.
yeah. Thank you, Marguerite. It's really amazing, and I want to second you on that. It's yani, and thank you for delivering this in generosity and
Mhm.
openness.
Thank you,
And
Chirag, so much.
I would like also to wish everyone who's hearing us today a very nice morning, and wait for us for the next episodes on Monday, 9 a.m. Cairo local time and South Africa local time, with Marguerite Sacco, and talks about transactional
Good.
analysis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.